Oh, sad day.
Just FYI, I've got it going just so that people can start
Okay,
coming in. Just,
so don't talk about them.
yeah, don't say nothing bad about anybody. Not that you don't want clipped and put in a highlight reel.
What about delaying? Because I know I've got kids. Like Caleb's in the parking lot. They're going to be in transit.
Yeah, I brought that up, but
Yeah, but I want it to be consistent.
sure. All right, so Ryan is here.
Okay. Hi, Ryan.
And Megan is here, and Ethan's here.
All right. Well, that was quick. Ethan was just.
Okay, I need to turn that volume down.
What time is it? Okay, we'll wait just a few more minutes.
Cameron is there.
All right. Good morning, Cameroon.
And Megan says you're late by 2 minutes.
What? No. Not by that. By this, we have 1 minute left.
And Ryan says 48.
48 what?
There. I think he's probably guessing early.
Is that some kind of NASCAR number?
Megan says that clock is wrong.
It usually is. But it's usually fast.
I show 8:04 on everything, so.
And I left my phone across the street, so I don't know. That's all I have to go by next, sorry. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. So it's really sad to be talking to an empty classroom, and I'm doing something I never thought that I would ever have to do, is teaching to a camera. I miss your faces, I miss your laughs, I miss your smiles. Megs, I miss your hugs. So hopefully this won't go on, too much longer, but we will make the most of it. I hope you're not stressing about it too much. Please don't. We'll figure this out, and I'm here for you as much as I can be. I'm available through Parent Square, so I will be as quick as I can to get back with you if you have any questions, or however we need to do this. I want you to know that we'll do it. We will get this done. I am striving to maintain a pace that we would be doing if you were here. I'm not going to assume that because you don't have structured class times that you have more time on your hands. It's not my goal excuse me, to give you anything more than we would have otherwise. So I'm really striving to keep the same workload, to go at the same pace. The way that everything is structured is going to be the same. So there will be as little change as possible. Let me just put it that way. So you probably have noticed that we are starting in a completely new chapter. I think we were on chapter 5 before spring break happened, but I had already been thinking about what I wanted to do with the last couple of weeks or months of school, and so I had already decided to skip ahead. And so for some of you guys, for you seniors, like this is like probably the end of your math career, and it doesn't really matter what you do. But for those of you that are going on to college algebra, from here I wanted to refresh some of your geometry and trigonometry so that that's kind of fresh on your minds as you either are looking at taking the TSI or looking at college algebra. So this will be kind of a refresher for those kids. For the rest of you who haven't had geometry yet, this will just be a really good introduction for you for next year for geometry and a little bit of trig. So that's why we are skipping on to chapter 8. So for those of you who have had some geometry, this is going to be very basic. It's going to be very simple, and you should be very familiar with it. But I'm not going to assume that that you are going to remember everything. So we're still going to go at a normal pace. Okay? So, any questions from any of you guys that are here? Pretty good?
There is a couple of second delay.
Right.
So Megan wants to know if she can go to the bathroom.
I won't even know. Okay, so I know that our class time is like 8:05 to 8:45. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to have to be on a camera for that long every day, because we don't really have the luxury of talking to one another or, so anyway, it may not, these streams, whatever these are called, I don't know, may not go till 8:45, just so you know. Okay, once I go over the material and then maybe give you guys an opportunity to ask some questions through YouTube, then we can call it quits. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. All right, so we are starting on page, yes?
Brian says, what about the review we worked on before Corona?
Forget it. It's
Meg said,
disappeared.
shh.
Yeah, no, it's gone. If you look in GradeLink, it's not even there anymore. I deleted that assignment. So forget it. We're moving on. Fresh start. Clean slate. So don't worry about it. Okay? There's my gift. That's my gift to you. All right. So we are on page 372 in your books. We're going to start with some angles and some basic trig. So angles are measured in several different ways. You're accustomed to them being measured in degrees. There are other ways that can be measured, like radians. That gets into trig, so hopefully we'll have enough time to get into that later. But you should all, even if you haven't had geometry yet, I'm sure you're very familiar with angles. It is two rays that come together that share a vertex. All right, so this is a ray, this is a ray, they share a vertex, they create an angle, okay? So, and you guys probably remember how many degrees are in a circle, right? 360, I know you guys know that. So, if I have a 1 degree angle, like this is 1 degree, that's like 1/360th of a degree, because that is an entire circle. If this angle right here is 1 degree, right? Y'all are all familiar with all of this, right? And then you know that to name angles, that's something that we're going to start doing today, too. There are 2 ways to name angles, right? So if this is A, B, and C, you can name an angle by the vertex, okay? So I can, let me get rid of this. I can name this angle right here by its vertex B. Okay, so I can call this angle B. Okay? If you're you're not familiar with this, this is the symbol for an angle, and that's how I communicate with you to let you know I'm talking about angle B, not point B, okay? You can also name an angle, and sometimes it's essential, depending on the circumstance, to name an angle by 3 points, right? So this angle right here can also be called angle ABC, or it can also be called angle CBA. It doesn't matter as long as B is in the middle, okay? The vertex does have to be in the middle, right? But either one of these are acceptable. Angle ABC and angle CBA are the exact same angle, all right? You can read through this if this isn't enough information, obviously. So on example 8.1a on page 373, those are just some examples. You have two angles, angle ABC and angle QRS, and it's just the same thing. Identifying the vertex and then also naming an angle the two different ways. So you probably won't have any questions about that, but if you do, you can let me know later. Okay, so now on page 374, we're going to talk about ways to classify angles, the different types of angles that we have. So look on page 374. The first angle that we're going to talk about is an acute angle. Okay, if you've had geometry, then you probably remember that these angles are less than 90 degrees. It's in your text. It is, let me kind of explain this because you might not have seen this before.
You may want to use the thicker tip.
Okay. The hard to see. Okay, so an acute angle is less than 90 is what you're accustomed to saying about an acute angle. Okay, so what this means, okay, so this is a Greek letter theta, and it is just representing the angle, okay? So an acute angle is greater than 0, but less than 90. So that's what this means, okay? And that's what that little symbol theta is representing. It's just the angle, all right? It is less than 90. It is not, you'll notice, less than or equal to 90, okay? And it's not greater than or equal to 0. It has to be greater than 0 and less than 90. And then we have an obtuse angle, which is that's next in the text. Yes. All right. So it is greater than 90, but less than 180. This marker's not very dark. Right? So an obtuse angle is it's greater than 90 degrees, okay? Not greater than or equal to, but greater than 90. And it is less than 180, not, okay. Yeah, this one's kind of light. Thank you. So obtuse is greater than 90, but less than 180. But it can't be equal because we have special angles that equal these. Okay? And then we have, it's much better, a right angle, and it equals exactly 90 degrees. And then we have a straight angle, which is 180 80 degrees. It is, in geometry, if you did that with me last year, you were used to hearing opposite rays, and that was defining a straight angle. If I have a ray that goes this way and a ray that goes in the opposite direction this way, they make a straight line. That right there is 180 degrees. Okay? And then one that you may not be familiar with is called a reflex angle. And it is greater than 180 degrees, but less than 360. So it's not quite a circle. It can be equal to 360 degrees. That would be a circle. So it would be like if I had an angle right here, a reflex angle would be this one right here. Would be that guy. So even if you have had geometry, that is probably a new term to you. On page 375 and on table A, it has all of this. The right angle also, let me do this. You all should be familiar with that little symbol right there. You know that you don't ever go by the pictures, you go by the facts. Okay, so even, this right here, even if it didn't look like 90 degrees, if it's got this little symbol right here, that means it is a right angle and means it is 90. Okay? So that table will come in handy to make sure that anytime you write a measure of an angle, and when we're talking in terms of degree, that you always put the little degree symbol, okay? Because without it, it means something else. So it's going to be really important for you to get into the habit, because it's easy to not do that, especially like in geometry. We didn't focus on that so much because we were only doing measurements in degrees. So we could very easily get lazy with it, and I probably did it, all the time myself. But now it's going to be really important that you use that little degree symbol whenever you're doing measurements for your angles. Okay. Any questions before we go over to the next example? Very good. All right. Good. So on page 375, underneath table A, you see example 8.1b. Okay, on all of those, the instructions say to classify each angle as acute, obtuse, right, straight, or reflex. Okay, so A, you're laughing at. See, I'm jealous. You're getting to laugh at them and I can't.
It's Megan. It's always Megan.
Oh, I miss laughing with my kids. I miss laughing with y'all.
She says, where was the good marker when we needed it?
Sorry. It's in the book. Okay. So on example 8.1b, on A, it says that angle ABC is 60 degrees. So you're just having to identify what type of angle that is. It is acute because it is less than 90. And then, so y'all can go through those. These are pretty simple. And I think that's it. So that's all we're going to go over today. We're going to take several days to get through, just like we always do, get through 8.1. So if you will, and you should have this in your packet, and so This should be the way that I wrote down the lesson plans for the week, or the assignments for the week, you should be very, very familiar with it. It's the exact same way that we've been doing it all year, and so there shouldn't be any confusion in that. So on today's assignment, it said to read pages 372 to 375. I went over the material 372 through 375. That pertains to examples 8.1a and b. Okay, we touched on those. Your assignment, just like if you were here, this is what I would put on the board. 8.1a, numbers 1 through 22 on page 383. Okay, so let's look. Turn in your books to page 383. You can see, this is the only part of the board that you can see, right?
Yes, past the yellow line.
Can they see
Yes.
this? So just to kind of go through, because you're not here to ask questions, so I'm going to try to preempt any questions that I think you possibly might would have if you were here. So on 383, you can see the first section, numbers 1 through 8. The instructions say, identify the vertex of each angle and write the name of the angle 2 ways. Be sure to use the correct angle notation. So number 1, so let's just do this together on the board so that you can see exactly what I'm going to be looking for as I grade your work. So number 1 looks like this. Okay, so the first thing that you were told to do is identify the vertex. So the vertex of this angle is B. I would love to ask you, I wish you were here, I can ask you. It takes like, what, 2 minutes for you, for you guys to throw some answers at me. And then write the name of the angle in 2 different ways. So we can always use it, just use the vertex and name it by the vertex. So this is, I can call it angle B. Okay, make sure that you use the angle, that's what those instructions mean. Make sure that you use the angle symbol, otherwise it's just a point. And then I can name it angle CBA or angle ABC. Either one's okay. And so that's how you're going to do numbers 1 through 8. And then on 9 through 22, that goes over on the next page, it says classify each angle as acute, obtuse, right, straight, or reflex. So like on number 9, we're going to write the problem. We're not going to change the way we're doing anything, okay? So you're still going to write the problem and the answer. So number 9, it says that angle CDE equals 90 degrees. So now we have to identify what kind of angle that is. Since it's exactly 90 degrees, it is a right angle. So that's how you'll do 9 through 22, okay? So you know, you've got assignments Monday through Friday, and then just to make sure that you understand how this whole packet system thing is going to work so every one of these assignments Monday through Friday have to be done, well, I guess technically by Sunday night or early Monday morning. Yes.
Megan wants to know if they need to draw down an angle on 1 through 8.
No, that's fine. You don't have to. That's a good question. Thank you. So as you get your all 5 of your assignments done for the week, you're going to put those back into your packet, and then Monday morning we're going to make another exchange. and y'all are going to turn in all 5 of these assignments that I will grade and put into GradeLink, and then you will be given your assignments for next week, okay? So all of these are due, okay? So basically, I mean, you've got plenty of time. You've got plenty of time to get this done. So, and I say all that to say this: if your packet comes back Monday and any of these assignments are missing, it's going to be marked incomplete, okay? So, and then it would be late if it happened to come into the next week's packet. You would lose points for it being late. But really, there's no reason for it to not, for all 5 assignments to not be done. So make sure, keep your work organized. I would advise you to keep this handy, obviously, because you need it all week. But as you do an assignment, get a paper clip and keep paper clipping it to this, okay? So that, because you've got a bunch of subjects that you're trying to organize and you're trying to manage, okay? So keep your math work with this math paper, okay? So just keep clipping this together, and then Monday morning, you're going to bring your packet to me with all of your completed assignments in it, and then we'll start all over, okay? And then I'll get everything graded as quickly as I can and get your grades into GradeLink. We'll talk about quizzes later once we get closer to actually having to do one. So any questions about any of this? And I'll just wait patiently for the lag.
Put a 5-second lag, I can cut that down.
Whatever.
In the future, but
All right, so I assume everybody's good. We did that in 25 minutes. Yeah. So this is about, this is about a normal instruction time for our class. It would have been a full class if you guys had been here and we could have talked and laughed together. But so this is going to be about normal. It's all doable. Please don't stress about it. I am still available, okay? Just because I'm getting off the camera doesn't mean that I'm not available. So reach out to me through Parent Square if you ever have any questions about any of these assignments or how any of this is going to work. Please reach out to me and I'll answer everything that I can. Yes?
Ryan wants to know, what about the problems like number 10?
Let me see. Do it just like this. This, all 9 through 22 should look just like this. The only thing is on number 1 through 8 or whatever, you don't actually have to draw the angle if you don't want to. You can just turn in this if you want to. Does that answer your question, Ryan?
Yes.
Yes, okay. All right. Well, I guess that's all I got for today. I really do miss you guys and look forward to hearing from you. It doesn't even have to be about math. Just want to say hi. Feel free. Say hi. All right. You guys have a good day, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this well, and you guys are gonna do fine. Really, I have no concerns. I think you guys are gonna do great. I miss you, and I'll see you right here tomorrow at 8:05. Have a good day.